everyone, hope you're doing well. Shane and I here with our market update for you. So we're coming at you with May's numbers. We're really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of crazy things happening. The market's
changing quickly.
So we're just going to open up. Shane, tell us a little bit about the market of May. Give us the market update.
Yeah, I think with rates climbing for one, I think that's settling the market. More probably on the lower end, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 price ranges. Those people are getting hit by rates a lot more than I think. The higher. If you're at $1 million, yes, it affects you, but those people have more money, more cash, so it's not as big of a jump for them. And so, I think with rates and with just the fact that people are not massively overbidding anymore. We've talked about that for a year and a half, 2 years, that will settle down. And now that the massive overbids have dropped and the rates, I think that's changing things a lot. So, I think our average price, $765, $863. Crazy that I'm giving that kind of number for our average price. Now keep in mind that's single family and that's all of Metro Denver. So $765, $863. We're in the high sevens and we're talking about how the market is softening. That's just crazy. So that is a 15.9% increase over last year. So now I know that it's settling down. We went to a market update and so forth. What do you see the appreciation being over the next year or two? What do you think? We're at almost 16% now. What do we think for the next couple of years?
Well, we just went to that seminar. It was last week, and we found that appreciation for this whole year is going to be around 10%, which is
so crazy.
Pretty impressive actually. Even with things slowing down a little bit, 10% holding throughout the whole year is pretty amazing actually. So I think that's going to be awesome for people buying their first home, investors. It's going to be fantastic for them.
So that means next year when we're doing this, average price will be $830 or $840.
It's crazy.
In a market that's slowing down, so that's nuts. I mean, that it'll be average price will be over 8 in the almost mid 8s by then. So, and that is slowing down, right? That is slowing down from what it is now. That's 10%, not 16, 17, 18% like we've seen. I think the biggest issue with our market is active listings. Talk to us about active listings. Talk to us about what's going on with all of that in the market right now.
Gosh, we have a shortage. We were, again, going back to that seminar, we get this really great information, and homes just aren't being built at the rate we need them to be built at. You remember this, you saw the same chart. We were at a sixth or a seventh of what we had been previous years. We're building as many homes as we are now as we were in the Great Depression.
The Great Depression, that's like mind-blowing. I don't even think anybody listening will even believe that statistic.
Crazy.
We are building at the rate as the Great Depression. That's how many homes we're building is the same as when they built then. And we have twice the population as that. Like, how do you even keep up when people are flooding in? You can't.
You can't. So that's why our active listings are so low. We're so low. It's crazy.
So we grew. We were at 4478 this month. Last year, this month, we were at 4427. That's a 1.2% increase. We need about 500 times that amount of homes. You heard me right. 500 times the amount of homes on the market, 500%. And we are getting 1% increase. So that, when people are talking about, the market's shifting and it's all of this, we got to keep perspective. Like, for the market to shift, we're shifting at percentages, not massive amounts. And so, closed listings, what is interesting, we talk about the massive overbids. And we see areas, we see homes where they go 10% over. We definitely see that. But average on the market is about, this month was 105.3. Last year, this time it was 104. So we grew at about 1% overbid. So if you have if you have a $700,000 home, it's going for an extra $7,000, $8,000 more than it was overbid last year. Not not a ton. That number now, keep in mind, we're a month behind, right? Because we get the numbers at the end of the month. We're into June already, and we're given May numbers. We have dropped now the massive overbids. We're at about 1% overbid now. So it's pretty close to what it's listed at, or if not a little bit higher. So what are some takeaways for you, for buyers, sellers, investors? What are you thinking for any of those?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty encouraged again by that big meeting we went to, hearing that these massive overbids. I mean, last year we were seeing the 100,000, 150,000. I was outbid by one on $200,000, and really those are the exception, not the rule. And I think that's kind of an encouraging thing to hear. That not every home is going 100K over list. But it certainly happens occasionally.
Sure.
So that's an encouraging point, I'd say, for buyers. If you're looking to buy, don't be discouraged by hearing these crazy stories where houses are going $1 million over list price, because that's not happening every time.
Yeah.
In fact, we've gotten a lot of people into homes and they haven't paid that crazy amount over list price. So it's definitely possible to get into a home. So if you're buying, be encouraged by that, hopefully. If you're selling, I mean, it's seller season. Shane said it. Get ready to start prepping your home. It's going to be a good time to start selling. Inventory is still really low. Homes are still really desirable, but don't expect to get 200,000 over your list price. That kind of
thing. I think one thing we were talking about earlier that I think is very intriguing and interesting for buyers in particular, interest rates are climbing.
Yeah.
So where you would have been maybe a percentage lower last year, the mass overbids are gone. So if you don't have to pay $50,000 over to get a house, and you can get it at list price now, but your interest rate went up 1%, it's about wash, right? It's about a wash. So I think that we're in a very good place. If you are a first-time home buyer or maybe a lower-end buyer and your qualification came down because of interest rates or whatever it may be encouraged to Seth's point, because now you're not going to have to overbid like you would have couple of months ago.
Yeah, you won't need appraisal gap too. So it's actually, it might even be a little bit more than a wash.
I mean, we didn't talk about appraisal gap. A lot of times you're bidding over 50 grand, which means you're paying 50,000 more for the house. Plus you need your down payment plus the amount that it appraises low, which could be 50,000. So you could save yourself a ton of money right now. So it might be a better time to buy than what it has been. So anyway, be encouraged. Sellers, buyers, it is a good time for both of you. Investors, one thing that I think is massive, I've got a lot of investors pulling their money from their retirement accounts and a lot of their investment accounts and pouring it into real estate. Why would we do that? Well, because inflation is going through the roof, right? So as inflation's going through the roof, if you're making 15% on your money and inflation's at 15%, you're actually break even. You're making zero money. If you own a real estate property, it's going up 10, 15%, plus rents are going up, and so you're actually making a lot more money on your cash. And there's a lot of strategic things too. When you have cash, you got 500,000 invested, and you're making maybe 15% on that money. For a $500,000 home, you only need 150,000. So it's astronomical difference. In real estate, you're making 30-40% return, where on a regular investment you're making 5, 10, 15%. So anyway, if you're an investor, now's the time to buy. I've been saying it for years. Don't take my word for it. Take my actions. I'm in the middle of buying. I've got 5 properties going right now. I'm buying actively because I believe it so much. So get out, buy a property. Trust me, you won't regret it. So anyway, I hope that helps. God bless. Hope that helps with our main numbers, and we will see you next month with June. I'm really curious to see when it's changing like this. Every month is so different. So anyway, we'll see you next month. God bless.